Hey everybody, here we have an eMachines part system. This one's probably from 2007 or 2008. Here's a look at the front. Let's get a look at the specs. System originally had, well still has, the Celeron D356 processor, which is a 3.3 gig processor. Used to have a 120 gig hard drive. And it's listed to have 512 megabytes of DDR2 memory and Windows Vista Home Basic. Paid $34.99 for this one, a bit more than I wanted to pay, but look what they originally were asking for it. They were wanting $45 for this thing. So basically, sometimes you'll find systems that aren't that well priced, but some guy went in about, I don't know, a few minutes before I went to the store and just wiped out every single decent cheap system they had. I mean, he bought like 5 or 6 of them, or maybe 4, I can't remember for sure, but he bought a bunch of them. So I was left with this, so I went and got it anyways. It works. Here's a look at the back. The Windows Vista Basic key was nearly ripped off, so I went and finished it off. I actually did save the key and use it on a different system. I'm going to put probably Vista Home Premium on this one, or Windows 7, it really depends on the key that I have available. Here's a look at the motherboard I/O shield plate. You have your PS2 ports, serial and parallel ports, video, USBs, Ethernet, and audio, and down there you have a modem. Surprisingly, this eMachine has a thumb screw. A lot of these newer ones have Phillips head screws. This one needs to be cleaned out. One of the big reasons I bought this one is because it has a decent motherboard in it. And I am curious to know, maybe this system will support a Core 2 Quad processor. I have a Core 2 Quad Q6600 CPU laying around that needs a motherboard. I could keep that Core 2 Quad until I find me a really decent motherboard, but I've already got a system with an 8-core AMD CPU, so I'm pretty happy there. So I'll have to look online and see if this board will actually support the Core 2 Quad. If it does, I may swap that out for a Core 2 Quad. Otherwise, I'll actually put in a Pentium D and call it a day. Anyways, there's a good look at this motherboard. There's a power supply. It's a Delta 300 watt. I've actually got a dead one up there that mysteriously does not work. Anyways, here's your general look at the case. One thing I like about these newer eMachines cases is the fact that they don't require, I mean, basically the optical drives don't have these faceplates on the front. Now, of course, I got these drives with faceplates to give the mid-tower looks and a decent look. But more or less, when you go to upgrade or replace your optical drives, they're hidden behind this, and you have your standard faceplate. Now, of course, there's no drive there yet. This is definitely a basic end eMachines. Doesn't even have a card reader. With that being said, let's go ahead and plug it up and show you that it works. Okay, I got this system plugged up. Let's go ahead and start it. Get into the system BIOS. See, it works just fine. And it flashed. Oh, I hear. Look, listen to this. I hear a CD. See what disc we have here. Ah, we have a disc for a Belkin N300 wireless USB adapter. And somebody lost their CD. Oh well, the good thing is you can download drivers off the internet, so not too big of a deal. And make a nice frisbee. Close. Now let's go ahead and reset and go into the BIOS. This thing wants to play things quick, so let's get into the BIOS. There we go. This here is your typical Intel motherboard BIOS. It tells you all about your CPU, the processor type, which currently is a Celeron D 3.33 gig. Tells you the speed, the system bus speed, the system memory speed, the L2 cache, total memory, memory mode. Tells you all that stuff. Here we have additional system information. This is pretty much where the manufacturer can go in and label stuff. As you can see, eMachines went in and put in the manufacturer and product name. Let's go to advanced. We have the boot configuration, where you have numlock, CPU fan control, system fan control. Here's where you can disable or enable the smart fan controls. Here's the security tab, where you can set password, that kind of stuff. Here's the power tab. Nothing special here. Here's the boot tab. So you can select boot menu type, where you can go in and change a lot of settings for like USB boot, or boot USB devices first. It's definitely useful. No, I don't want to. I'm used to other kinds of BIOSes, obviously. Let's change that back to normal. Now, here's your normal boot menu type. The system does offer horror monitoring. I'm not even sure if I really covered the advanced tab all that good. Here's video configuration, where you can change onboard graphic settings. Here's horror monitoring. CPU's running at 42 degrees C, probably because of all that dust in the heatsink fan. You can see the voltages for all the power supply rails. You can also see fan speeds. Here's chipset configuration. Memory configuration. Have a look here. This motherboard allows you to user define your timings. Not too bad for an OEM system. Now let me change that back to auto. But that's neat. You can actually fine-tune your memory with this motherboard. Let me go back to user defined. You can, like I mentioned, this you can change this from 400 to 533 to 667 megahertz. So this board will support up to 667 megahertz memory, which I believe is 5300 PC2 memory. Okay, that's a general overview of the BIOS. Let's go and save changes. So overall, not too bad. Anyways, just one more view of the system. Paid a little more than I usually would for a system like this, but still not a bad buy. Anyways, any questions or comments? Feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.